Saturday night on the Zone on Cinco de Mayo weekend, the big Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez is finally making the trip to the desert, and I'm not talking Las Vegas, I'm talking Riyadh in the UAE. He's finally going to Turkey Al Sheikh's venue, and he's going to defend his unified world super middleweight titles against a belt that used to belong to him but now belongs to William Score. If you haven't heard much about Score, I don't blame you. I had to go and study up as well. And there's a good undercard there as well. So if you're interested in having a chat about that and breaking down the fight, then stick around. Okay, Canelo Alvarez, he's running out of marquee opponents at super middleweight. His big name opponents, David Benavidez, Dimitri Bivol, are all sitting at light heavyweight. And as I've said many times, I don't think light heavyweight is a great fit for Canelo. He's just a bit too short for that weight. But at super middleweight, he was the undisputed champion. He had a mandatory defense going against William Scholl. He had better things to do, quite understandably. Scholl won the vacant title there in Germany against Vladimir Shishkin. So he's also a guy that's sort of used to fighting on the road. And that's all she wrote. It's kind of like Usyk fighting Daniel Dubois again to unify the belts. So he's already unified because one belt went that way by way of boxing politics. But after Saturday night, Canelo Alvarez or William Scholl, if he can pull off a massive upset, will have all the super middleweight belts again together. Even we all know Canelo is a champion at super middleweight. Can William Scholl spring an upset at all? Now, he's a Cuban fighter, and we know he's sort of a poster boy for that Cuban style. If my interpretation is correct, it's kind of a style where you firstly concentrate on defense of a lot of movement, speed, angles, using the ring to nullify everything that your opponent does, and then you go for your offense. It's not a style that's sort of what Americans like, take one to land two. That's not the Cuban style. And Scholl is very much like that. I watched this fight with Vladimir Shishkin. It was to me an awful fight to watch. I struggled to stay awake because he does have a very fast jab, and he's got very quick feet, and he uses that fast, laser fast jab, maybe around a second punch, and then he moves, not just change an angle. He gets on his bicycle and he moves all the way to the other side of the ring, makes you go after him, jab, moves all the other way again. It's this constant move, throwing a pot shot, and then when you get close, he ties you up. It's that kind of style, and that's judging from the Vladimir Shishkin fight. That's the only fight of him, but I've watched this other. He doesn't have big names on his record. The other one is Evgeny Shevchenko, who was an undefeated fighter at that time. I've seen Shevchenko box before, solid boxer. He beat him on points as well. So William Scholl, despite having the IBF belt, his resume against Canelo Alvarez is really fun. And Alvarez is kind of like Edgar Berlanga, but Berlanga at least had a bit of a punch and quite a lot of size. But, it's the same kind of opponent once again. And Canelo Alvarez, even though he's maybe not at his absolute prime anymore, is still an elite pound-for-pound fighter. So I can't see William Scholl doing it. You could argue that Canelo Alvarez had a very, very hard fight years ago against another Cuban, Erislandy Lara, who's still around at the top. But Lara was a southpaw, and I think, Scholl, I'll argue whether he's as good as even the current version of Erislandy Lara. I think is maybe better. So I think he's going to frustrate Canelo Alvarez. He's going to keep away. Alvarez these days, he scores knockdowns, but he doesn't take the guys out. He beats guys that other people will have trouble with, but it's not spectacular anymore. And I'm kind of thinking the question is more, I don't think Scholl is going to punch enough to get to win rounds. I think he's going to flip a jab and pat punches and run around and hold. And Canelo is going to have to cut off a ring on him. And I've noticed in the last round there against Shishkin, Skull looked very rocky from a few punches, so I don't know how great his chin is. So for Canelo Alvarez, he's going to have to go to the body. He's going to have to track him down. I think there'll be some rounds of frustration. And then once he hurts Skull, you know, that will be game over. Whether he's going to take him out, whether he's going to, Skull is going to manage to be on his bicycle on hold and see out the fight is an open question. But I'm thinking that sort of hit and run style of William Skull is going to frustrate Canelo enough. And maybe I'm thinking Canelo is not going to get that stoppage. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we have a more exciting fight. But I think Canelo, as soon as he touches William Skull, he's going to land the harder shots. He's going to hurt Skull at some point. And I'm thinking Skull might survive. He might stop him, but I'm thinking Skull's going to survive. So I think Canelo Alvarez is going to win another decision in a somewhat underwhelming fight on Cinco de Mayo. I think it's going to be hard to make an exciting fight against William Skull the way I expect him to fight. This is not a guy who's a puncher who's going to go out there and brawl unless I'm in for a surprise. And, you know, as I've said, I haven't done a lot of homework on William Skull. More interesting is the undercard. There's a rematch between Jaime Munguia and the French fighter Bruno Suras. Suras, a guy with very little knockouts on his register, scored a massive upset. He was being beaten from pillar to post by Munguia, and then he tagged him with a perfect shot and took Munguia out of there. Now, usually when a guy knocks somebody out, he does it quicker the next time around. But then a guy who's not known as a puncher, who scores a one-punch knockout against a big-time guy, I'm thinking Jaime Munguia will have better focus this time, won't make the same mistake, and I'm expecting Jaime Munguia to take out Bruno Suras somewhere around 8. And then there's a very intriguing heavyweight fight between Martin Bakole, who took that incredibly last notice fight from a managerial aspect, quite a stupid fight to take, against Joseph Parker, and got blasted out when his stock was so high. He gets a chance to redeem himself now against F.A. Ajagba. Now, it's anybody's fight. I really don't know who's going to win there. You know, I trust that Martin Bakole is going to be in better shape this time. Still, it's a rather quickish turnaround time, but Ajagba has also been kind of underwhelming, you know. He started his pro career off like a house on fire, and he sort of petered out as the quality of opposition picked up. So, I don't know. You guys got to tell me in the comments section who wins Bakole or Ajagba. I kind of thinking Bakole rights the ship again, and he manages to win a decision against F.A. Ajagba. Just a feeling, but if he's damaged goods still after a Parker loss and Ajagba catches him and takes him out, it won't surprise me either, you know. And then that Badu Jack is also returning on the card. But that's it for the Saturday in Riyadh. So, as always, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. And until we see each other again, remember to keep up our game.